Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Thursday night the 12th of June 25. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Transcribed by Wiser, now emailed to recaps draft. Welcome everybody to the big call tonight. It is Thursday, June 12th and you're listening to the big call. Thanks for tuning in all over the globe as the satellite team gets our call out. Thank you so much Big Call Universe for tuning in. We're excited to be here tonight, have a lot of good things to talk about. Alright, well, let's talk a little bit about where we are today. Today is the 12th. We know that we've got major things happening on the 14th. Let's talk about what we heard happened yesterday. They found out about last night. There are certain people that have been, I'm going to say they've been paid through the quantum financial system, but we're not really sure who they are, and I'm trying to figure that out and I have not been able to find out. It's a pretty good-sized group of people that have been paid out, and I'm not sure who they are, but the good news is, the indicator is that things regarding the RV are moving forward for us. The quantum financial system, as far as I know now, is fully integrated globally. Everybody's connected to it, everybody's connected the satellite system. Everybody is connected to the blockchain technology and the fintech system. So we've got all those systems interconnected and everything set. Now, we've got our accounts in the banks that were mirrored, but now are actively in USN. Okay. Well, they were in USD and the USN. One of the big things that will be announced when the NESARA is announced. Now, let's talk about that. There is an announcement, and I believe it's been pre-recorded. That President Trump is going to make or play this thing at 8 a.m. Monday, the 16th of June. And we believe it is a global announcement, and we believe it should occur, possibly using the emergency broadcast system, the EDS. Now, what we had heard about this was that it should be announcing some of the basics of NESARA. It may also reference GESARA, even though GESARA has already moved forward in some ways, where NESARA has barely gotten started, if at all, in our country, so we'll look for that. I don't know how it's going to air. Like I said, it could be on the EBS. Could be on just news channels that normally pick up Trump's announcement. All I know is it's supposed to occur 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Monday morning. Okay, so if you're in California, it'd be 5 a.m. there. So I don't know what it's going to be about exactly, but we don't know that, but we think it has to do with NESARA, and it may have to do with new asset-backed currency we refer to as USN. So we'll look forward to that now. Prior to that, what's going to happen on Saturday, you know, we have the 250th year anniversary of the U.S. Army celebration. We've got the parade in Washington, D.C. to commemorate Flag Day. We also have which will be a military parade with a lot of equipment. And I understand it's coming from 9 different military bases, some coming as far away as Texas by train, tanks on these flat cars that are, you know, coming by train, coming in. And also, you know, other bases around. Probably it could be from a lot of different states. Really might not be just Texas and obviously Fort Bragg down there. North Carolina, I think they'll have a presence. I wouldn't be surprised if there were 1 or 2 flyovers that might be done by Air Force or our naval aviators, we'll see. We'll see what happens now. Parade is supposed to start, if I heard news right, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with fireworks coming on at 9:45 p.m. So if that timeline is correct, supposed to be something on the mall. Which is that receiving area, kind of where the reflection pool is, and all that. That area is supposed to have some other kind of events happening there between, like 10 and 4 o'clock, 10 a.m. at 4 p.m. But I think the parade, which sounds late for me for a parade to start, but I think it's supposed to start around 6:30 p.m. so we'll have to double check that and see if that's what you guys are getting. That's what I received so far. Could be a lot of fun. Could be really good to celebrate and to see what they actually bring down Constitution Avenue and other streets in DC. I don't think they'll be going down M Street, but you never know. So that's happening all right now. Supposedly we are to get that indicator of something happening over the weekend. The most recent information for us is saying that we will get notified. Quite possibly Monday and begin exchanges on Tuesday. And I can tell you one of the reasons I believe that could very well be the case is we know that Redemption Center personnel are going in Monday at noon. And that would let me maybe we're going to get numbers Monday afternoon, meaning after 12 noon sometime, and on Tuesday. They're going in at 9 a.m. so at 9 o'clock in the morning I'm thinking. Okay, that's probably where we're setting appointments on Monday, having received the 800 hash and we're exchanging Lord willing on Tuesday. That's why I think they're going in at noon on Monday and 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Now that, to me, is a good indicator. Does not necessarily mean that's what will happen, but that's what it's pointing to, because this is coming up to where this needs to go. It needs to kind of go now. They want this to go, and we need to go ahead and be part of it. And so that's what I'm hearing, is the so-called timeline that we're getting, and we know that everybody has signed recent non-disclosure agreements between the banks and redemption people. They're making sure the people at the redemption centers are who they say they are. They're getting pictures and signatures and stuff like that, sent back to headquarters so that they can verify everybody that will be doing our exchanges. That kind of stuff is happening yesterday and today. They have email addresses on us already to know roughly who is going to be calling and who's going to be going for exchanges in a certain area near certain redemption centers all over the country. I think that's good. They're just basically crossing their T's and dotting their I's and getting everything ready, shifting personnel, retraining, doing last-minute training on everybody, and bringing everybody to a full knowledge of what is happening. I think they've also are sending emails out to make sure everybody knows, or they have already said so that the staff in the redemption centers know the timeline of what is going to happen when. And that's what they're signing off and returning. HQ, so that everybody's on the same page. That's interesting to me. Beyond that, I just don't know what to think about what else there is. Because the only thing that we knew we would have to deal with were these insurrections and shenanigans in various cities across the country. They've already snuffed out quite a few of them, all the ones in Texas yesterday with Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and one other town in Texas. And I think certain states are going to be just ho-hum, no big deal, maybe a peaceful protest of some kind, but I really wouldn't expect a whole lot. And then there's some obviously, out west yet, San Francisco, Seattle, in Washington, Portland and Oregon, you had Minneapolis and Minnesota. And, Chicago, Illinois, and other cities like Baltimore and there are certain cities I don't know if Denver. Maybe there are certain cities where they have what we call hotspots. And we know the National Guard is prepared to go in if they haven't already. And we know that the police and the county sheriffs and for example, the Texas Rangers are obviously, they're in Texas to help put out anything that needs to be, but I'll tell you one thing. If the Marines are called in and have been called in, you can forget rubber bullets. They're going to be using live rounds. And I don't want to see loss of life over this stupid stuff, because, what ICE is doing is what is constitutionally allowed for them to do. And the removal of illegals, and especially illegal alien criminals, needs to be continued and brought out of this country, and I'm in favor of that. Now, listen, I speak Spanish. I speak French. I can get along with Canada. I get along with Mexico, Central and South America, right? Been there, done it, chuckle. But there's no sense for these people to be coming in like they did over the years of Biden's reign, 4 years straight, 10-20, 22 million people coming in unvetted. We don't know anything about them or who they are. We find out who they are. It's like, it's time to go, nothing personal. It's just, we're going to come into this country. You need to do it legally, lawfully. Not illegally. If we build a wall, we had to build a wall. That's what had to happen. And it worked. It works. It needs to be completed. I don't know if we've got it finished yet, but it needs to finish the last 65 miles, or whatever it was. So that's how I stand on it. I think that most of everything, I don't expect a lot of nonsense in DC. I really don't. I don't expect it in a lot of states. But it could occur, to some extent. I want to make sure that we all pray for the peace of Jerusalem and the peace of Israel, Tel Aviv and other cities in Israel, that the Iron Dome will hold up. And of course, we don't really. I know why Israel is taking a preemptive attack against Iran into Tehran, try to defuse any nuclear capability that my understanding is they are very close to mid-range nuclear weapons. We don't need that, and President Trump's not going to stand for that. We are not in it as of now, we're not involved. We're standing by and letting Israel do what they're doing with Iran. And I hope we do not get involved in it. I don't think that we will. Trump will not want to do that. He wants peace. We have a trade deal, we think, with China. I believe that has come through yesterday. So let's just do this. Let's believe that we are going to move forward with the timeline that we have now, this major incursion. But I don't think we're going to have too much of a problem domestically. The protesters, if you want to call them, that are being paid through a trust that they seized and don't have any funds to pay people out. That's what they resorted to looting in LA because they weren't being paid. And maybe that's going to help him to die down. Hopefully so. I want President Trump to have a happy birthday. I want to have a great Flag Day celebration of parade. I want to have the Father's Day, very meaningful for all fathers across the country on Sunday. And of course, you know by now, is always the final round of the US Open Golf Championship on Father's Day Sunday. It always coincides that way. So that's really interesting. So let's just do this. That's really everything I wanted to say. Otherwise, guys, I think we're on track for everything that happened Monday. Tuesday was looking like right now. So let's stay with that and pray the call out. Alright, guys, again, let's celebrate on Saturday and keep an eye on what's going on, and we'll probably have a call on Tuesday. And it might be that we have numbers on Monday and consider appointments and start on Tuesday. So let's just see how the weekend goes and see. Go for us. Okay. Alright everybody, that bless you. I say good night. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: dinarrecaps.com